this is the building materials. Today, really, cement is our biggest business. This one is the cement industry in Nigeria. The total capacity that we have. The plant expansion, like what I've said, all these ones, they are ongoing. The only one that which we signed today, and it will start in about 90 days, because it takes about 90 days for mobilization. It's known for Calabar, and that's how it's, we have budget of industry 13.2 million. But Overton today we are commissioning on the 11th of this month in about 9 days, and it will be the largest cement plant in the world, actually, not West Africa. We were in USM before, but we sold back then, and we got out of USM. So these are the capacity that we have now, almost 28 million tons. Then we have 16 which will finish by 2014. So Nigeria really would be almost 8 million tons. But this one we're coming from totally a different, no, it's more than that, right? It's about 43, the numbers were wrong. Sorry. Yeah, about 44 million tons. It's about 44 million, sorry, they added the numbers wrongly. But when you look at it, in 2003, the total production in Nigeria was 1.8 million tons. 1.8, yes. We were less than 2 million in 2003, last 9 years. So all this actually happened in the last 8 years. These are the location, and then the good part of this plant here, for example, is because you are in a safer market. Normally the cement goes, you shouldn't build cement factory near the port, because cement business is normally a dumping business. If you have a government that is not ready to give you protection, you should run away from the port. So that you see, if somebody lands here in Lagos or in Port Harcourt, to transport his cement here is because you are transporting sand. So, but even though Nigeria, the strongest market of cement, actually today is here, then the rest of the country. The market is very, very strong in the east. All our plants, we have 96.5% of our raw material. We don't have anything that we import. The only thing we import, which is not very good in Nigeria, is the gypsum. And gypsum, you only add it at the end of the process. Take clinker and this, so that, because cement without gypsum in it, it will cake as soon as you put water. So it is the gypsum that slows down the caking. Yes, the caking. So that's what we don't have. Go to the next page. This is the self-sufficiency, which we're still ramping up. So the export actually will not start till second quarter. We're ready now to start from Lagos, but the problem that we have right now is the ECOWAS certificate, because we need an export certificate. Even myself, I do know that people didn't get the export certificate, because what they're trying to do is that they are saying that please satisfy the Nigerian market before we export. I will say yes, we will do. So by technicality, because they don't want us to also take it, but which we are not extremely, because we still have about 400 silo trucks at the port, tankers, of which one they come up, we'll start taking. But we're not selling to anybody, we are taking to our plant in Tema, which is just outside Accra. And that's one of the big market. So we'll start by that. And we want to really be a global player. By the time we hit 2015, we'll be one of the top 5 cement companies in the world, but the most profitable. Why were the most profitable? Because we're participating in an area where it is difficult to do business, number one, and the capacities are not there. And if you look at most of these companies today, they went and invested in wrong areas, and most of their income is almost zero. The more they produce, the more money they lose. If you look at Lafarge today, even with our 12 billion market cap, the 12 million market cap that we have today were bigger than Lafarge worldwide, because Lafarge is valued at roughly 8 billion euro, which is less than 11 billion today. But their debt level is 18 billion. So the market cap, and all of them, apart from Holcim, all of them, because they went into massive acquisitions in 2008. And these acquisitions now have actually turned to be bad. Lafarge bought Orascom, the Egyptian one, to be able to have some foothold in Africa for 8.5 billion euro. Whereas now the total Lafarge company, including this is the same amount they bought the Egyptian one. So they've taken quite a lot of hit, and majority of them are actually not allowed to expand as of today, because the convenience that they have with their banks is that they can now borrow additional money to expand, because they are finding it very, very difficult to service their debt. The same thing, CEMEX, that used to be the greatest company in the world, they have. So what we have now learned from these guys is actually from the mistakes that they made, where they didn't calculate about all these things that will happen in the world, by the world economy going down, by Europe having massive debts, because the main problem of Europe is that there's a lot of debts and the growth is zero. No growth, heavy debts, that's what these numbers don't really add at all. So that's why it is very difficult for them to get out of their woods. And we are now trying as fast as we can to keep expanding before they recover. They might not recover, because they will be right on top. And our thinking is that yes, we will still be paying dividend. But if you realize, like us, the year before we paid dividend of about, we paid dividend of about 500 million, we paid 65 billion. But this year we reduced the dividend because we have a lot of projects. We just did bonus, and we will continue to pay small dividend. But the target is that by the year 2014, when we reach 60 million tons, we will not be owing banks money, and we'll have 60 million of capacity. We are not really in a hurry to go back to the market now, to sell additional shares. We still are holding about 95%. We have to sell 20 to make it the mandatory 25%, but we are holding on because generally, we will be able by 2014, if we are able to get a profit of $4 billion, it means that yes, we will actually have a company that is worth $60 billion. Because normally African companies, the PAT, you take the PAT, the PE ratio is about 12, which 12, 14, but even if it's 12, if it's 10, you're talking about 40 billion. So that's why we are not really in a hurry. We'll list in London, but we'll list when most of these plants are up and about to run, so at least people will see what they are buying. So that's one of the things. These are the operations. I've already gone through this one. These are African projects. This is where we are. In Senegal, we have actually completed the plant. And the problem that we're facing now is just the power plant that is delayed, but it will be ready end of this month. And hopefully by July, we'll start. I know some of these things, they look very simple, and they're not like that. Because problems, but nothing comes easy, so, we're there. I mean, in Cameroon, we started with what the contract, the community, they were part of the process, they were part of the celebration, we did everything. At first, they claimed that, they are not happy with me because when I went there for commissioning, after the cocktail that, because they set up one cocktail and lunch, and I had another appointment in another country, so I had to rush out. They said no, because I didn't stay. But later on we realized that it was just Lafarge playing. I know the politics of this. It is not, Sarkozy was very much involved in our plant in Senegal. He was talking to what that he must not allow us to build. He didn't know that we had already finished building. And that's how their own president. But really, and truly, I have to also be very thankful to Jonathan, because when I spoke to him, I told him of some of the challenges that were faced. We haven't gotten government involved yet. But I said that no, if there's anywhere that we need, he doesn't mind to even set up a state visit to go and assist us and talk to them. But he wants to see the first Nigerian company succeeding, abroad. And we face a lot of challenges, like when we first went to Tanzania and we announced we are spending $500 million to build a cement plant. You say, okay, you see these Nigerians, they have come with their 490 again. And that's really how, yes, that's how it is, because they have never had a black person, an African, come in to say that he is going to invest this. So I think it's mostly about this, what do you call it, most of the media reports here and there, which I must really thank the head of our communication, Tony Chijena, quite a great job now. They started to believe that, but because never they only know Nigerians to be kingpins of 190 or something, so they didn't really believe. And it was now when they realized that yes, we started clearing the land and everything. Now somebody jump and just go to court, and that's what they are doing. You just see one guy that has nothing. In fact, you can't even buy him for penny. He'll go and take you to court, but you have to follow the due process. That's what we are. That's what we try to do. And honestly, despite that, yes, I know that people here, their own views to what's that. Some people really they don't know us that well. There are two things that we've been accused of, which I think one for sure is not true. Second one to 90%, I'm sure it's not true. Number one, which I mentioned, was that people, before thought what we were doing were actually, being close to government, we were getting all these duty waivers, duty free, this and that. That was how we made money. We have never in the history of Dangote collected a zero duty, zero certificate, unless if it is, for example, now sector specific. Yes, if you now say, okay, no, if you go and build a cement factory, for example, any gas-based industry is zero duty, zero VAT. Yes, it is an industry because anybody is for everybody. But we have nothing that they have given to us. Before, what they thought was that our sugar refinery were only bringing white sugar to package. No. What we bring is sugar that is not fit for human consumption. It's a raw sugar which you don't consume. If you see it, it's like sand. And we change it to, that one, we even fortify it.